Hello, welcome to this week's game in the Caro Kann. It's the week 35 2015, and in this week we are featuring a game played in the Vienna Open, and it's played between with the white pieces Valentin Dragonev. He's rated 23-39 against the current British champion Jonathan Hawkins. He's rated 25-54. And let's see how it went the game. White played e4, c6, d4, d5, and the white plays the advanced variation with e5. Now the normal variation that black plays is the develop of the bishop f5. This is the normal move. But he has another option and is to play the move c5. At first, I quite like this move. At first it looks that is losing a tempo because he plays c6 and then c5, but it has some points. Oops. Oh. Okay. It has some points. The black is trying to develop the bishop later and is putting pressure. It's like a French, but with the possibility of moving the bishop, the problem bishop, outside the pawn chain. It's like improved French. He's trying to. And the white play the most critical move, let's say, that is taking the pawn. D takes c5. Another thing that I like of the move c5 is that if the white player doesn't know this move, he probably can play the move c3. That is not a problem at all for black. He can play knight c6, putting pressure here, and later bishop g4, queen b6, and so on, and he has no problems. Okay, so in the game he took the pawn, and now Jonathan plays a move that I'm not sure of, that is knight c6. For me this move is too optimistic. He's trying to get everything. He's attacking, first of all he's attacking this pawn, but he's trying to develop the bishop before playing e6. But I think he has some drawbacks this move. For example, here I prefer e6, because with knight c6 white normally plays knight f3, that is played in the game, bishop g4, that was the idea of knight c6 first. But the problem is that now white has the counter strike bishop b5, e6, attacking here, but now white can defend the pawn with b4 because the knight is pinned and he cannot take this pawn. So knight g7 castle, and I don't see too much compensation for black in this position. He has a pawn down and he's very cramped he has difficulties developing the pieces. That's why I don't like the move knight c6 in the fourth move. Okay, so in the game bishop g4, and white played c3 instead of the bishop b5. I prefer bishop b5, but he plays c3, and now black develops with e6, normal move. White defends the pawn, bishop e3, a6 to prevent the bishop b5 move, knight bd2. Now black recovers the pawn, knight takes e5, h3, But now black has to give the bishop pair with bishop takes f3. Otherwise bishop h5 is a dubious move because of the following line g4. He has to take to avoid the losing of a piece. Knight takes, bishop g6, knight e5, and this is the problem. Knight e7, and now this diagonal is a little weakened. Queen a4 check, knight c6, knight takes c6, queen d7, bishop b5. Ooh. And this is scary for black. Queen b4, and ultimately he has to give the exchange to survive. So after h3 he has to give the bishop pair. Bishop takes f3, knight takes f3, and he goes back to c6. White develops with bishop e2, normal moves, knight f6, b4, knight e4, attacking the weakened pawn, queen b3, defending the pawn, and bishop e7, developing the last piece, castle, rook fd1, X-ray in the black queen. So black plays the queen c7 move to avoid any tricks on the d file, and now white plays c4, bishop f6, attacking the rook, rook a c1, rook a d8, and now he exchanges in the center to give black the weak pawn, the d5 pawn, and now plays knight d4, blocking the pawn. In case of he could take the pawn with rook takes d5, but here black is fine with the following variation: rook takes, queen takes, knight c3. He's attacking the queen and the bishop. He has to defend the bishop with queen c4, for example, knight takes, queen takes, and now he recovers the pawn with knight takes b4. So this position is about equal. So instead of taking the pawn, he plays knight d4, blocking, rook f8, and now he plays a dubious move, bishop f1. A better move was, for example, bishop f3. Bishop f1 is a little passive move for the bishop. Bishop f1, and now g6. And here is the position is going slightly to black's favor. White plays rook c2, bishop e5, a4, and now the black is trying to disrupt the pawn structure with a5, threatening to take, and this pawn will be weak, and this it will be weak. So white has to do something. He takes the knight, and now the structure is better for black. He doesn't have any isolated pawn anymore. And now black play white plays bishop d4. He exchanges, black exchanges, rook takes, and a takes b4. I think bishop d4 is an error. Maybe he could play this move, b5, and I think it's a better move. He maybe is threatening this move, and this pawn it will be weak. but the move bishop d4 allows what was played in the game, the exchange, and a takes b4. And now is white who has the weak pawns. And now black plays I think a committal move, that is d4. Very strange at first, because it opens this diagonal. And white has this move, attacking f7, and it's a little bit scary. And also this bishop move, bishop c4 with 3 pieces on f7. But it has some points, the move d4. Instead of d4, I prefer rook a8, putting an eye on the weak pawn. Here white can play bishop d3, for example knight g5, and the knight will be on e6, attacking here, and we are attacking the 2 weak pawns, this and this. Bishop c3, knight e6. But in the game it was played d4, and now here comes rook b7, of course, queen f4, only move almost, g3, queen f6, he has to defend f7. And now the move that I don't understand, honestly, is h4. I don't understand why he plays this move. And this move gives time for black to play knight c3, bishop c4, and rook e7, just in time, exchanging one rook and releasing the pressure over f7. Instead of the move h4, mysterious move, white could have played directly bishop c4, and now black has to play d3, exclamation mark, and white has to take the pawn. If he plays bishop f7, black has king h8, amazing move, with the point of bishop e8, black can play d takes c2, and if he's threatening to queen, and if the queen takes the pawn, we have rook d2, and this is too much. Too much pressure for white. He will be mated in a few moves. So he can take on f7. After d3 he has to take the pawn, bishop d3, and now queen f3, and now the bishop is pinned because of the checkmate threat. So he has to go back, bishop f1, and here is an equalish position. Black will recover one pawn. He can exchange queens, and for example, exchange queens, and he will recover one pawn, and this is an equal position, maybe. But we are returning to the game with the move h4, and now black plays knight c3, bishop c4, rook e7, exchanging one rook, the active rook, king h2, and now he goes for the pawn with rook a8, pointing the pawn. He's attacked with 2 pieces, So he counterattacks with rook d2, and now queen e1, attacking the rook. Queen c2 defends the rook, and now black takes the weak pawn and attacks the bishop. Rook takes d4, defends the bishop, and now this knight has no defense. But he plays rook a1, threatening mate in 1. King h3, trying to escape for the mate. Rook c1, attacking the queen, and he's defending the knight and gives time to take the f2 pawn. And now a very interesting move is bishop takes f7. If black takes the pawn, he has this check. So he cannot take the bishop. He has to play king g7, and now the bishop takes another pawn, bishop g6, h g6, and this is looking very scary for black. King h6, but he has this move, queen f1, exchanging queens. And now he has a knight for 2 pawns. White thought that he could draw this game, but he will lose the c5 pawn. He cannot defend the pawn, and now black, if he can get with this pawn, he will win the game. So the game went rook d1, rook e7, attacking the knight here. Now it's a maneuver phase of the game. Check here, check. Now this pawn is pinned. Rook f7. King g7. Now the threat is h5, so he has to move the king here. Rook e3, king h2, and now the decisive move, trapping the rook, knight e4. This rook is trapped. If he moves, he will lose this pawn, and here is attacked with the knight, so he cannot move. And if white plays king h3, has this mortal check with the knight. So in this position, white resigned. Summarizing, after e5, c5 is an interesting move. D takes e5, but I think a better option that played in the game is e6. Is more modest move, and you have to live with this bishop inside of the pawn chain, but you can play knight c6, bishop d7, and try to recover the pawn. but leaving with the bishop inside the pawn chain. But knight c6 I don't like because of this variation bishop b5. Okay, thanks for watching, and until next week, bye bye.